What's up, everybody? Hella Flagrant, the podcast. We up in here, man. We had to stop in for a little bonus footage right after we dropped episode 4 for y'all. We had some more Hella Flagrant news from the NFL drop. As many of you guys might know, Kansas City Chiefs star running back Kareem Hunt was cut after video footage was released of him assaulting a woman in a Cleveland hotel. Apparently, this incident happened back in February. Police were called to the scene. They did a lot of, speaking to the alleged victim, speaking to Kareem Hunt himself, speaking to some of his friends, the hotel staff. Nothing really came of it. Kareem told the team that, it was nothing. And so, nothing happened. And now he's having an awesome season, or was having an awesome season, and it's cut.
All right, let me first off, I'd say it to everybody, man. I just lost one of the best players in my fantasy team that I could ever had.
Listen, wait. You get no sympathy from me because I had Le'Veon. So I had a stressful running back season.
Either way, I made it to week 13 with this dude, and he was running hard. I mean, look, this story is really not about that. I'm just being funny because – well, I'm not being funny. I really needed him this week, especially against my Raiders, man. Like, he was going to kill. But this is a serious story because they did release him. I mean, this is a young guy, man. Like, he just got drafted 2 years ago, led the league in rushing yards last year. And this year, I mean, he was all-pro again, like I just said. But, yeah, Kareem Hunt, Kansas City Chiefs, in week 13, right before Friday. This is Friday. The game was Sunday that they was about to play. And TMZ decided to drop a bomb on the world and let everybody know what Kareem Hunt did back in February. So, look, this is when I saw the story. I mean, of course, obviously, I was a little shocked just because they got the whole footage of everything that happened. It wasn't just, okay, he, seen here where he's hitting her or, just a flash, and maybe it could be, maybe it couldn't be. Like we talked about earlier, Kareem Hunt had every chance to kind of stop what he was doing, think about it, process it in his head, and make a better decision. Right. But he didn't. Like, he went overboard. Like, whatever happened in that hotel room drove him to a point where he was just like, forget the cameras, forget my millions of dollars. She got to learn her lesson. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I didn't. It's been mixed opinions.
So as several different stories report, there is some uncertainty as to how the altercation itself started, how things spilled out into the hallway, into this video where Kareem Hunt is seen, first putting his hands on the young lady and then doing some sort of tackle move, which hits her into a wall. And then following the tackle move, as she's still on one knee on the ground, he decides to kick her. Now, the kick isn't hard. He doesn't do an MMA kick, but still, you're a man. This woman's on her knee, and you've just put your foot on her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everything about this situation is wrong. And you just hit it on the head. Like we talked about, you had several opportunities in this video. You have other grown men trying to guide you away from this situation, and you still continue to proceed with trying to be violent towards this female. And so, that in and of itself, it is my understanding as why Kansas City cut him, and why we, may or may not see some other action taken against him from this video. But it's definitely a bad look for Kareem Hunt in a lot of ways, bro.
Oh yeah, extremely bad. So what I took from the video basically was it looks like a few of his friends got together, or I wouldn't say, maybe he lived at that place in Cleveland on the off season. Anyway, they were together in a room. It seemed like the girls were there, and I don't know what happened in that room. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to sit here and make an assumption because I could be wrong. But whatever conversations they had between each other, something didn't go right, and Kareem Hunt was either defending himself or defending his friends. And she wasn't having it. She had to say her piece. And it escalated real quick. Now, what it does look like is, to me at least, they all knew each other. At least for the most of them knew each other, meaning his friends or Kareem Hunt and one of the girls, at least, maybe not the girl that was kicked out, but at least one of his friends and one of the girls knew each other. They were cool because after in the video, you can tell they actually, after the girl was upset and was, kind of going off and telling the police this and that, the other friends were kind of just hanging out together still outside smoking cigarettes. Like it was just, talking about the situation and what's next. So I don't know. I don't know the situation. I don't know what happened, but I think, go ahead.
So here's the issue though. Couple of things, because you're right. None of us know what happened inside that room. Right. In 2018 though, Kareem Hunt's gotta assume you probably live in a very nice, or this is a nicer hotel apartment setup. They got cameras. You know what I'm saying? Like in the hallways, there are cameras for your security. You probably live there because they are secure and have cameras in these places. And so unfortunately for his sake, no matter what happens in that room, what happens in the hallway is all you have to live up to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and I don't care if the police didn't arrest you, or if whomever was on your side, you, sir, probably should have been smart enough, or your team, someone in that office should have been smart enough to be like, wait a minute, hold on, what happened? We need to figure out everything that's on this tape 6-7 months ago. You know what I'm saying? 8 months ago, not wait until somebody like a TMZ gets it out. And so that part of it also comes into play. Why is it coming out now? How did TMZ get tipped off that the tape exists? All those kind of questions come to circulate, but at the end of the day, none of that really matters. What really matters is Kareem Hunt. You put your hands on a female, and it's on video, and you got to deal with that.
Right. Now, and my thing is this. I'm not advocating that anybody should put their hands on anybody, but as professional players, anybody that's in a public light, just assume TMZ is everywhere, or assume cameras are watching you at all times, even if you're in your own house. If you got to use the bathroom, TMZ is watching. If you got, you know what I'm saying? Like, just make it easier on yourself. Like, if you got to go to the grocery store, TMZ will be there. You know what I'm saying? Any situation, exactly. They're laying under your bed. Like, wherever you think that you could possibly go, they will be there. Just assume that. You have to.
TMZ out here right now.
Right, exactly. Like, they are everywhere. Like, they probably are connected to this podcast somehow, and they are watching. Like, but I'm serious though, because you have to always think, and you have to be transparent with your team, because that was the problem with the Kansas City Chiefs. At least what they claimed, that Kareem Hunt was not. He didn't tell basically the whole truth about the whole situation. And okay, if you don't know there's a videotape, and even the situation, eventually somebody will find out. Right. You need, you know what I'm saying? Just assume that your team already knows, or your situation, your employer, or whatever it is, they already know the whole deal. It's just on you to tell, because that was what happened with Ray Rice. The cold part about it is, Ray Rice actually told the whole truth, but then the video came out. Yeah, and it was worse than what they actually, when he said it. It sounded less worse than it when you actually see it on video, and that's what I think maybe
happened here. Same situation happened here. And where Kansas City Chiefs organization is going to get raked through the coals is for not taking action to follow up on it themselves, like in the Ray Rice situation. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that Kareem Hunt's nearly as brutal. You know what I'm saying? Like the Ray Rice thing, like that looked bad. Kareem Hunt, it's still man-hitting female. You know what I'm saying? It's still on tape. Kansas City Chiefs organization, where y'all are going to get hit up, is, okay, this happened. He brought it to your attention in whatever matter he brought it in, whether he brought it as light, you know what I'm saying? Whether he told y'all all the whatever, y'all did very little apparently. Because if TMZ can find it, you guys have the ability to use the same resources to find it, is what people are going to say.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, but you also got to understand this. It's like I've talked to you about, earlier, Ray Rice, and I know this sounds bad. I'm sorry to say it, but Ray Rice averaged 2 point something yards per carry when he was playing.
Yeah.
Ray Rice told the Baltimore Ravens every single thing that happened. The Ravens told him, okay, don't worry about it. We'll take care of the situation. That was Ray Rice's wife. And I'm not saying that it's a better situation, but it almost seemed like on that video that was their relationship. Almost kind of seeming like maybe how the Reuben Foster situation is with his girlfriend that he keeps talking to, because the way she talked back to him on that videotape almost seemed like that's how they go every single day. Now, right. I'm not, like I said, I'm not advocating that, but I'm just trying to put it, perspective into everybody that's watching this is mine, because a week later when they got the tape from TMZ with Ray Rice, they cut him immediately and said, I cannot believe this happened. When Ray Rice and his wife told the Ravens what had happened in that situation. That was a week later. Ray Rice hasn't played since.
Right.
Coming back to this situation, this was in February. This is now December, you know what I'm saying? It'll be December 1st. Like, you have a game in 2 days on week 13. You telling me from February to the beginning of the season to 13 weeks into the season, you didn't do anything? The difference is because Kareem Hunt averages 7.5 yards per carry. Kareem Hunt has, probably around 10 to 11, 12 touchdowns this year already. Kansas City is the number one offense in the NFL. Kansas City is the number one, team in their division. That's the difference between Ray Rice and Kareem Hunt.
I would agree that if knowledge of this incident was around, somebody would probably want to do their best to keep it on the hush, because Kareem Hunt is good.
So I mean, maybe Bill Belichick made a few phone calls. I don't know. TMZ might be Patriots fans, as far as I know. I don't know.
Slick Bill, though, man. That man ain't. Listen, we can't put nothing past Deflategate, man. Like, once you start taking air out of footballs, bro, like, I can't trust you for anything.
Hey, once the hoodie goes on, man, you just once the hoodie goes on, you don't know what's under that. What's under the hood. Deceitful.
Oh man.
No, I'm all jokes aside though. Kareem Hunt, I hate to say this, but Kareem Hunt will be on the team faster than you can think. I understand why Kansas City let him go, and they should have. I mean, especially if he, lied about the whole situation. But make no mistake, Kareem Hunt is one of the best football players in the NFL. And as we've seen with Reuben Foster, who was picked up 72 hours later after his release from the 49ers, I don't see why this wouldn't be any different.
It's crazy too, just real quick on the Reuben Foster thing, that we didn't mention when we talked about it, was in the report that I read, it said, although Washington picked him up, the only team to contact Tampa PD and ask for a full police report was the Eagles. So the Redskins didn't even bother to call the police to figure out what happened. They were just like, nope, we got him. It's good.
Yeah. Well, because you gotta in this situation, what's the worst that can happen? It comes out true and they just release him.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like it's. I mean, look, it's awful that the NFL takes this method, I guess you could say, with their players, but they're in the need for talent. They want the best they can get, and sometimes their talent doesn't always conform to situations. So they take chances and chances and chances, and it's not good. It's not a good message for people in general, because it's like, okay, well, if you are talented in something, then you can pretty much do anything you want to yourself, to anybody else, as long as you can run.
Doesn't matter.
Good. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So
you can tackle, you can hit, run, catch, pass. It's fine.
Right.
The rest of your life doesn't matter to us. And again, we brought it up in the Reuben Foster situation, and I'll use this one as an example. But Alden Smith, you know what I'm saying? Like, man's life. Like, and not to say that the NFL, it's a job, it's a business. Not to say your job is supposed to care about your mental health. I know a lot of employers that don't care about your mental health, but at the end of the day, it's a different job and it's a different career, and it's one that, while you want the guys to be stand-up people and you want to make examples out of these players in a positive light, and you trying to make them into role models, on the flip side, you do nothing for them to ensure that you're making them decent human beings sometimes. And so
right. And there's life outside of football, there's life after football. And if you don't know anything other than football, what life are you gonna have? So
right.
I mean, it's like I said, I'm not singling out the NFL. I'm not saying, it just these things happen. And the reason why I think I have a problem more with the NFL in the situation is because their rules are never the same.
Yeah.
It's never, it's never a straight, okay, you do this is what happens to you. You do this, like this. It's always this is no tolerance league, and we don't want any, we don't condone anything that goes wrong. But
then different things happen. Like, for example, you look at Jameis Winston, he had a sexual assault case, but only got 2 games when the minimum is supposed to be 4. Like, right. where did that come from? You know what I'm saying? And then you asked me about it earlier, Zeke. What happened to the whole Ezekiel Elliott situation? Like, things just get swept under the rug. And so, people start to lose faith in that whole no tolerance league and all that stuff.
And that's why I think a lot of people are not stopping to do, but they're not watching the NFL as a whole, not just because of this situation, but because of just everything. The NFL is not consistent. They don't know what they want to do. That comes with tacklings and hits and player safety and everything. Like, they literally have no idea. Yeah, they have literally no idea what they want to do. They just kind of go with whatever it is that day and just roll with it. Like, well, we know you guys are gonna watch, so either way, we'll just make up our own rules. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It's kind of like when you playing at a like a board game or something like that, and they just start making up these fake things. It's like, you can't do that. Like, oh yeah, you can. This is how we play.
It's 375 every time I go around go. Like,
exactly.
On the board though.
Yeah, but when you play over here, this is 375.
375.
So yeah, anyway, back to it. Kareem Hunt, obviously released by Kansas City, which to me ruins their Super Bowl chances tremendously. Yeah. Spencer Ware is their backup, who will start now. Not good enough. It's just not. Kareem Hunt is dynamic, and it fit perfectly with that offense. I'm not saying that the Chiefs are completely done or over anything. I just don't see them, especially with not having a great defense, them being able to continue to play at that top peak level. Because now you can kind of, I wouldn't say shut down situations, but now you can,
they're gonna have to try to put like Tyreek Hill off in the flat and got to make him a running back but a receiver at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna have to do some trickery with him, because it's gonna be interesting because teams are gonna double up on him, and they're not really gonna be looking for the run game like that.
The messed up thing about it is the best thing that could go for the Kansas City Chiefs right now is the fact that they're playing the Raiders on Sunday. That's the best. That's the best thing that could possibly happen to them, because it's like, you just lost one of your most dynamic players that you have on your team after a bye week that you probably prepared numerous plays to run to him.
Right.
And now it's just all throughout. Now you have to go in your playbook and figure out plays within a day, which you're not going to be able to actually incorporate or have these players go execute in a practice because it's the day before a game. But you get to play the Raiders, who literally can't play against anybody. So
it's a practice game.
Right, exactly. Like, you can try all these new plays and just throw the ball in the air, just flick. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever the hell you want to do, because it ain't like they're gonna put up much of a fight anyway. So
my bad. I just had a messed up thought. Like, I just envisioned the game with the Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs red pennies, and not even in their home jerseys.
Just got
Like,
Got the half cut off shirt with the dots in the jersey.
like, yo, we didn't even bother putting on our full uniforms for this.
That's called truthful, but it's called. That's going to be a massacre of a game. The line for the game is Kansas City minus 15.5.
That's a joke. That's
right.
a Vegas joke. Like, Vegas is laughing at you by even doing that.
Right. I mean, and even now, even with Kareem Hunt going down, I think it dropped to like 13.5, which is still 2 scores. So Kansas City released their statement, I guess, after they released Tyreek Hill. I'm going to read it to you guys. This basically says, earlier this year, we were made aware of an incident involving running back Kareem Hunt. At the time, the National Football League and law enforcement initiated investigations into the issue. As a part of our internal discussion with Kareem, several members of our management team spoke directly to him. Kareem was not truthful in his discussions. The video released today confirms that fact. We are releasing Kareem immediately. So Kareem also came out a little bit later and just basically said he was trying to move forward through the process and he deeply apologized for the situation. I mean, I don't know. I don't, like I said, I don't know what happened in that room. I don't know what the reason was for it. It's just unfortunate that, this young man, I mean, you got to understand, this guy is probably around 23, 24 years old. Like, he's very early in his career. He just barely started playing football at the prime, and he's already going through this situation. I don't know. I think the Chiefs are just trying to get rid of the situation because they want to diffuse it. Marcus Peters, that used to play there, obviously he was cut last year. I wouldn't say due to the same thing, but he had character issues. Tyreek Hill definitely had character issues coming out of college, I should say. So I think the NFL, at least the teams, I can say, speaking of Kansas City, and then prior to this, San Francisco, it seems like they're trying to do their part at least to try to make some kind of I wouldn't say pact, but trying to make it seem like they are trying to not promote this situation. But then there are the Washington Redskins, teams like that are going
to just be like, well,
yeah. So there's no justice, pretty much.
Nah, I mean, and so we'll see what comes of this. We'll see if anything comes out more from this story from the young lady herself, if she pursues any sort of lawsuit against Kareem Hunt, if there's any sort of legal action taken against him for this video coming out. We'll see. And we'll have all those updates right here on the Hella Flagrant podcast. Make sure you check us out, flagrantfoul.com, hashtag Hella Flagrant podcast on all your social medias. Check us out on YouTube, for all your flagrant sports news and stories.
Yep. Check us out. Hella Flagrant right here. Go get it. HellaFlagrant.com. We got them all for you.
Yep.
Peace.